And we are live. Welcome back to the channel Chosen Wisdom Football, and this is your match preview for the Manchester United versus Everton game on Monday. Welcome back to the channel. It is Chosen Wisdom Football, a channel for the football purists, the critical thinkers, the Manchester United fans who like to use their brain. This is a thinking man's channel, and as I've just said, this is your match preview, guys. This is your match preview. So today we have, of course, the reaction to Michael Carrick's press conference, as we always do. We're going to go through most of the major quotes, the highlights of the press conference, and as the title of the video says, we've had a lot of time, guys. We have had almost 2 weeks, 2-week gap between a game. We are thirsty. We are Man United fans hungry to watch our team play. The last time I believe we played was midweek, about 2 weeks ago. So it's been a long time. We are enjoying this period, and I cannot wait to see what Michael Carrick has in store for us on Monday, guys. So I hope you are excited as I am. Big up the chat, big up the community, big up the channel. I hope everyone is feeling good. I can see Turkish, the mod, already in the channel. First, as always, big up Turkish. All you stragglers, I hope to see you in the show. So on the show today, we're going to go through the press conference reaction, the team news, of course, who's fit, who is injured. We have information on Mount and De Ligt, guys, from Michael Carrick's press conference. We also have quotes from Carrick regarding the game, how he thinks the game will be, how difficult he believes Everton will be as well, what kind of team he believes they are. Carrick was also asked about Jim Ratcliffe's comments, people. Yes, they have resurfaced. It's been a while. We haven't had a match since Jim Ratcliffe's quotes. He haven't played, so the media haven't had a chance to really fire questions at Carrick. So Carrick has responded regarding Jim Ratcliffe's comments, guys. So you're going to want to know what he said, so stay tuned for that. And also, quite interestingly, something we can talk about as a community is he was also asked in the press conference, guys, how he trains Kobe. And I'll be intrigued to find out his answer to that question. How does Carrick train Kobe? What does he say to him? What does he do with Carrick, with Kobe? Also, as you guys will know, the question about whether Michael Carrick will get the permanent job, whether he wants the permanent job or not, it will always be asked, and it will continue to be asked as long as United keep winning. So he was asked about the permanent job again, people. So once again, we're going to talk about that. And as usual, guys, we will go through the team. We will go through what we believe, who we believe will start, who we believe will be on the bench. And you guys will get your team news in. You guys also get your predictions in. It's been a while since we've been here. It's been a while since we've done a match preview, because it's been a while since we've had a match, guys, and it feels really strange. So big up everyone, big up the community. Leave your scorelines, leave your predictions in the chat. Let me know what you think is going to happen against Everton, considering the fact we lost against them with 10, or we lost against them against 10 men under Ruben Amorim only a few months ago. So get your predictions in as well, guys. Also, regarding Jim Ratcliffe, Ben Jacobs has shared that Jim Ratcliffe, according to the FA, has avoided the charge, has avoided any FA charges for his comments. And to be honest, guys, I didn't think he would be charged for those comments. We did read, we did do our research, and the FA said the maximum penalty that they could do was just a slap on the wrist. That was the maximum thing they could do anyway. So We have Ben Jacobs confirming the FA charges not going to happen with regards to Jim Radcliffe. And Dallow's come out, and I know Dallow divides opinions. Some people really like him, and others don't really like him. In fact, I don't know many people who actually really like him. But Dallow has come out and says he wants to stay at Manchester United and get us back to the top. So, guys, like I said, just to recap, we're going to go through the Carrick quotes. Carrick quotes on Everton. Carrick quotes on Jim Radcliffe, which is very juicy. Carrick quotes on Kobe. Carrick quotes on him maybe being the permanent manager, as well as FA's charges with or regarding Jim Radcliffe. Dallow stuff. So we got a few things to get through, guys. So big up the community as always. I see my guy Acho in the chat. Big up Acho. How you doing, my guy? Big up Chosen and the chat. Over the moon we are playing. I have missed seeing Carrick ball. I agree, Acho. It's been a while. It feels strange, Acho. I feel like everyone's played. We're out of the FA Cup, so we missed the FA Cup weekend. And yeah, it just feels weird because Atro, after this, we have about 2 or 3 week gap in March as well. So if you think this period of time was a bit annoying, frustrating, you know, no Man United football, having to watch Arsenal draw and get excited over Arsenal winning. We're going to talk about Arsenal as well, guys. I think it's time for this channel to have a chat about Arsenal. We did our team predictions, or should I say our Premier League predictions. We revised our Premier League predictions only, I think, a few weeks ago, people. And we firmly placed Arsenal, firmly placed them to win the league. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. All I'm saying is Arsenal are beginning to look like Arsenal. They're beginning to do Arsenal things. So we might have to have a chat about who's going to win the league again, because it's getting kind of smelly. It's getting kind of smelly. So big up Atro, big up Turkish. If anything, the FA would have just told off Radcliffe. Nothing more. Yeah, that's all they can do. That's all they can do, Atro. There's nothing else they can do. He hasn't done anything illegal. You know what I mean? So all they can do is don't say these things or think about what you're saying. That's all they can do. Yeah, I'm all right. You know, today's been. I'm tired today. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm tired today. If you are a Pokemon fan, and only the last month, guys, I've got back into Pokemon, and today was one of those days where everyone was rushing, fighting, beating each other, trying to get this product, trying to get this box, and I managed to get a box of this stuff. This is treated like gold right now because of Logan Paul. Because of Logan Paul, yeah. This stuff is like gold. And you know what? I'm not even doing it to sell it. I'm actually doing it to open it and have a bit of fun because this is my childhood. I'm grown. I'm an old man. But do you know what? Why not? So today's been one of those days, Pokemon card hunting. But I'm here doing football. So big up the chat. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get into Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick. Big up Acho. Yeah, actually, the game gaps are annoying, bro. I ain't gonna lie. The game gaps, people, are annoying. This one game a week, I don't know. I know, because it's less than a game a week now that we're out of all the competitions. So it is what it is. Anyway, injuries, guys. Let's find out where we are. Let's have a chat about this, because I think some of these characters might not be here next season. Let me know about Mason Mount, guys. I will tell you first about Mason Mount. I have been consistent about Mason Mount. I never wanted him at the club. I think he is a good footballer. Decent to good footballer. He's got 6 out of 10 passing, 6 out of 10. He's just sound technically. He can do a lot of things, Mason Mount, but he's not special. He doesn't have a shine. He doesn't have that je ne sais quoi, you know, as you would say. He's just Mason Mount. And on top of that, his injury record is atrocious. So before we get into the story, guys, I would just like to say, just off the back, I don't think we should sign him for 55 to 60 million pounds. And also, I think he should be sold. I think United need to find a way to somehow get rid of Mason Mount in the summer. However, let's see what the team news is. Mason Mount is getting closer, guys. So whether you want Mason Mount to be part of the team or not, he's getting closer to returning. We've been patient, says Carrick, so we don't want to push anything. We want him back, and he can have a big impact. Okay, true. He's getting closer, which is good for us. Initially, guys, we just like De Ligt, we thought the Mason Mount injury was only short term. I think he was injured, he came back, then he was injured again the next week. So this has been Mason Mount's time here at Manchester United, unfortunately, guys. This has been his time here. And I want to put it out there, as I do on this channel, to you guys a lot. If he was a different player who was always injured, I don't think he would be as beloved or protected as he is right now. He's hardly ever available for us. And other players who've been not even as injury prone as him have had, let's say, more criticism from the fan base regarding their injuries. And I just want to point that out, that Mason Mount, in my opinion, doesn't get the same criticism or heat or attention regarding his unavailability. Let's say that. But De Ligt is a very strange one, people. Once again, similar to Mason Mount, we were told De Ligt was a 1 or 2 weeks. And that 1 or 2 weeks, guys, has turned into 3 months. But Carrick once again says he's working towards it. He's behind Mason. So Mason Mount is closer. And he's still not there yet, De Ligt. I think De Ligt will probably return in March. The question I have for you guys is this. What do we do with these 2 players? I don't mean it in a rude way, but because I've already said, I don't believe we should have bought Mason Mount in the first place. We went in the wrong direction. And the problem is, you guys will moan about Man United's midfield and not understand that in the space of 2 or 3 seasons, we spent £120 million. We spent 65 million on Casemiro, 60 million on Mount, 55 on Ugarte in 3 or 4 seasons. So we spent, almost 200 million on our midfield in 3 years or 3 or 4 years. And we got Ugarte, an old man Casemiro, and Mason Mount. And when I kind of try to push the narrative that, do you know what? We've actually spent money. We've just not spent it wisely. That's an example. That's just an example of what I mean. But a lot of you said that De Ligt was injury prone. I understood it. I understood he was injury prone, and he started his career well. First year, he had 1 or 2 injuries, but they weren't long term. And I thought, he could be over his injuries. I was concerned moving from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, which is probably a bit more physical than the Bundesliga. He will pick up even more injuries. But the first year, he was relatively fine. This year, this injury, though, has made me think, I like De Ligt. I would prefer to see De Ligt over Maguire. Do we need, guys, another centre-back? Is Lenny Euro and Heaven ready? Because at the moment, Maguire and Martinez is getting picked over them by Michael Carrick. So does that show that they're not ready? Despite the fact we've seen Heaven and Lenny Euro play games in the first team. So let me know, guys. Let me know what you're thinking about this, about these 2 players, about our injuries. Because I think overall, I think, can I say, guys, that our injuries this season haven't been that bad? Is it fair? Is it fair for me to say that this season the injuries haven't been that bad? We haven't had a big injury to Cunha. We haven't really had a big injury to Mbumo. Neither to Ahmad. Neither to Sesko. Not Casemiro. Not Bruno. Heaven and Euro are fit. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Big up the chat. Big up the chat. But I did say, guys, that we might have to look at the defense very, very soon after we attack our midfield. But big up the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. Pogba and Martial got slated, but actually gave us more than something when they got. Actual, that's the reason why. I asked the question, because those are the kind of responses, actual, that I want to see. I want to see if people are on my wave, because Certain people gave us everything, including their bodies. You know, when somebody joins Man United and they're absolutely fit, and by the time they leave Man United, they're broken, and they play through injuries and play through injuries over and over again. Play for Mourinho on the left through injuries. Oli came, tore up the place for Oli. Martial was an animal. Broke his body for this football club, but I don't think he'll get the same protection as Mason Mount because of the English. It is what it is, guys. Let's go. Let's move on, people, to Michael Carrick's other quotes. More important things. Michael Carrick was asked, how do you beat Everton? And I very feel, Usyk, man. Usyk is a legend. I very feel that I like these questions, because these questions let you into the manager's mentality. It lets you into his way of thinking, his psyche, how he understands football. And this is the most important thing. I always say this to my chat. We need to understanding how your manager sees football and what to expect from your manager. Managing your expectations of your manager is very important. Understand his philosophy. Very quickly get a grasp of what he wants. Because very quickly you can identify whether you're feeling it or not, whether you like it or not. Right? I knew very, very, very quickly that I was not going to listen to Amorim when he said to me that Kobe Mainoo wasn't good enough. Right? I knew very quickly that my eyes were telling me something, and this guy was trying to tell me something different in my ears. My eyes were telling me, my eyes were seeing a baller. My eyes were seeing a baller. But the manager was telling me that he wasn't good enough for Man United. And I'm thinking, hold on a second. Am I being gaslit here? Kobe Mainoo is a baller. So just understand the manager, I think. Here we go. This is what Michael Carrick says about Everton, guys. Let me know if any of this fascinates you guys. Listen, there's a lot that goes into a game. And you guys know Michael Carrick is very laid back, very nonchalant. He doesn't get worked up. He's not emotional. He's such a different character to Amorim. Amorim wore his heart on his sleeve. You can see how he played football. He played football almost like Roy Keane, aggressively. He was very emotional, passionate. Michael Carrick played football like nothing bothered him. Michael Carrick sat deep and just sprayed the ball around like a flipping G. And he acts like he's just calm. He's just like, yeah, Michael Carrick, this is what we do, you know, Man United. Chilled. Absolutely chilled. And so I feel like we can just compare the personas, the characters of the two men. And then once we do, we can start thinking which one of those two fits into what we call the United DNA. Whether you think that's a thing or not, whether it exists or not. So yeah, let's see what he says. He says David Moyes' teams are hard to play against, you know, and he's such a good manager, and with the experience he's got, and knowing what it takes to have success in this league, it's a new challenge for us. So it's one we're looking forward to. I think it's one we've had a lot of time to look forward to, which is true. Almost 2 weeks, guys. So yeah, it's going to take a lot. I think going away to Everton, new stadium, historical, being tough, it's been an atmosphere, and the supporters that they create, I think it's always been one of the toughest ones that I played away from home. Full stop. I also want to say there quickly, guys, that it is so important, yeah. When you guys kept saying, let's get Prem proven players, and I kept saying, okay, we've got Prem proven players, but why don't we have a Prem proven manager? And I know Carrick isn't Prem proven like that, but at least Michael Carrick understands. He doesn't. I'm tired of Ruben Amorim saying, I didn't know it was going to be this difficult. I didn't know. Carrick knows. Carrick knows that Everton, the crowd, the atmosphere, he understands all of these things. He's played in the Premier League all his career. It's just good to have somebody that kind of has the experience, that knows some stuff, that can prepare us properly. He finished off by saying that, so we are where we're at, and then trying to be our best way we can. I think we've got things to improve on, but we've got a good base and a good foundation moving forward, a good spirit. So we'll have to draw on pretty much all of that on Monday night. Like I said, guys, it just sounds different when he speaks to Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim, there was a dark cloud over Manchester United, and he was so negative. In a press conference like this, he might have said the wrong thing regarding to Jim Radcliffe. You know, who knows? I don't know, but it just feels so. It sounds better. Michael Carrick sounds more coherent, guys. Do you think he sounds more? I just think he sounds more coherent. He makes a lot more sense. I'm not at an interview. I'm not listening to Michael Carrick interviews and thinking, oh my gosh, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna do to cause unrest? He's not gonna do. Michael Carrick's boring, but boring in a good way, guys. Boring in a good way. So big up. I see Nishran in the chat, Beleba and Tonali. Guys, this Tonali love. Do you guys really like Tonali, or is it because you're hearing that he's available that you want him? I want to know about this Tonali. I like Tonali, guys, by the way. I'm just talking to you lot in the chat because I see Nishran. But how would you set it up, Nishran? Niche. Anderson and Beleba and Tonali, the double pivot, and then Kobe as a 10. I want to know what Nishran will do with our midfield. Nishran says Carrick is a bottle job. Didn't call Radcliffe out at all. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Niche fan, also, why do you think that is? I know he can't. It's like I can't go on TV and really call out my manager or my CEO. I can't do it. I will lose my job in a day. I always feel like it's these sort of situations. You can call him out by not calling him out. Does that make sense? As in, you don't have to directly say he was wrong because you can't do that. As he's your boss, but you can give your opinion. And if your opinion is different to his opinion, then you're kind of indirectly calling him out without saying he was wrong. But yeah, niche fan, big up yourselves. Comment below, bro. Let me know what you think about that, my guy. Atro says Dashware Mount. Agreed, flawless for me. I never saw the need for Mount. Yeah, I didn't see the need for Mount as well, Atro. Yeah. Yeah, Bruno's successor, he's not even seen 20 games. It's the Mount thing's dead, guys. The Mount thing has failed. It's one thing that's absolutely failed. Mount has failed here. They'll try to convince you Pogba and all these guys have failed and they've won trophies and they've carried the club. Mount is a failure. 20 games in his first season, guys. 27 in his second. And that's appearances, guys. This is not full 90-minute games, by the way. And 19 this season. Yeah, it's fair to say the injuries haven't been chosen. Funny pun, Atro. Carrick isn't a man. He's got no spine. Niche fan is not happy. Not happy at all, Niche fan. Niche fan, if there's any consolation, my bro, I share your anger and I share your frustration, while at the same time I understand the politics in behind Carrick not saying what he said. Does that make sense? I'm not justifying it, guy. By the way, niche fan. I'm just saying I understand it. I understand Carrick's position, but Carrick wants to be the manager here. Imagine if Carrick came out against Jim in the way that you want him to. Because I still think like I believe he kind of did, but the way that you want him to, he's never gonna get the job. And this is why I say I don't like. It's difficult because what if the person who owns the club? What if, I don't know, the worst human being in the world, the most depraved human being in the world buys every company? You have to go to work. You have to go to work. And all these Epstein people that are just eating people and all these mad billionaires, we work for them. We all work for them. What are we going to do? Listen, life is complicated. It is difficult, people. But niche fan, this is the place, bro. If there's one place here for you to be anti those people and for you to be voicing your anger, please, niche fan, we need come here. You're at home. You're at home here, my bro. I'm telling you, my bro. You're at home here. Cool. So Everton, listen, guys. I don't want to lose against Everton. I beg of you, guys. I beg of you, just show up. I don't want to see a West Ham performance. But If West Ham is to go by, this Everton game is going to be very difficult. On this channel, we talk about the technical stuff. We talk about the tactical football stuff, guys. And we need to discuss low blocks again, guys. This will be another low block team, defending deeply, counter-attacking us, doing what we did in a way to City and Arsenal. And we need a way to overcome that. So big up the chat. I see my guy T Kizzles in the building. I sense much anger in Niche fan. I sense the force is strong with this one. I sense Niche fan in Michael Carrick is a multi-millionaire. He doesn't care about the club. We need these racists out of the club, and Carrick could have done it. The players will do it though. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, I've heard that some of the players haven't been happy with what Jim has said. So we'll see. Listen, the Everton game is going to be interesting. I don't think our players are going to be affected professionally by his comments, but we will see the performance of some players. We'll see what happens, but I just can't see it. Anyway, this is what you guys wanted to talk about. Michael Carrick, we haven't had an interview. We haven't had a match. We haven't had a match for 2 weeks, guys, and this was the first question posed to him. The other quotes that we just went through, they were the third, fourth, fifth question. This was actually the first question. As soon as Michael Carrick sat down, they asked him about this, and this is Carrick's response. And this, guys, I'm going to read it out to you lot. This is why Niche fan is not happy, but we'll see. We'll talk about it, guys. We will, as usual, have a chat about this. So can you give me an assessment of Radcliffe's comments? And this is what Carrick has said. Yeah, I think Jim made a statement, and then the clubs made a statement on the back of it. So for me to add to that is not my place to add to that. Full stop. It's not your place to. I like the way he's framed it, but we're not asking you to add to anything. You are the manager. So what do you think about his comments? He could have said, I don't necessarily agree. That's his opinion, but I don't necessarily agree. He could have said that, and I agree with Niche fan. He could have said that and still not really get in trouble, because he gets, listen, that's his opinion. Cool. But for me, I don't agree. But my challenge to you is, I kind of think that's what he was kind of saying. So let's read on. I think enough's been said in that regard. And I've said it on this channel. I don't want to keep talking about this. It's not good. When I did my video on this, I spoke about it. I got bombarded. I'm not gonna dodge it, but it's not something I'm gonna keep bringing up unless he's been asked about it. So right now we are talking about it because it's in the news. Cool. I think what I can say is I've been around this club many years, and we're really and I think we always make a huge impact globally in whatever way, and we're really responsible for that. And throughout the years, as a player, as a member of staff, as a supporter, I think we are really proud of the environment and the culture that we've got at the club, and equality and diversity and respect for each other is something we look to carry through every day. And I've traveled the world, and I know what this club means to an awful lot of people. So fully aware of the responsibility, and we're trying to carry that out every single day. So similar to the club, they haven't condemned Jim Ratcliffe's comments. They haven't said they disagree with it. They haven't said it's bad. They haven't actually said anything about Jim Ratcliffe's comments, similar to the club. Carrick has once again chosen to speak positively. This is called positive screening. Rather than, if someone says, what do you feel about this person's negative comments? Sometimes as a politician, you respond by saying, I don't know about these comments, but what I can say is, I don't know about his negative comments about London, but what I can say, London is a beautiful place. And that's how a lot of people will answer that question. So I get what Carrick is doing here. But like Niche Fan said in the chat, he's not directly addressing Jim Ratcliffe. And for some, I understand that will be a cop-out. That will be weak. It will be spineless. And that's what happens when powerful men have power over you, or The billionaires. Jim Radcliffe is his superior. He is his boss. If Michael Carrick would have said anything, him being Man United manager in the future would be down the drain. It will be down the drain. The question now is, now that we know that Jim Radcliffe has these views, and we've been led by a man with this mentality, with these views, what does it mean for the next United manager? Is it going to be a Southgate, for instance? Jim Radcliffe is a Brexit guy. So he's a very strange man. He's a Brexit guy that lives abroad. He's an immigrant. So there's no point trying to use logic, try to understand these people, because there's no logic to it. But that's what his response was. So I get it, guys. I'm not going to weigh in too much on this, guys. I'm just going to say that as much as I'm disappointed he didn't hit Jim Radcliffe over the head with a hammer or knock him out with a Muhammad Ali right hook, I understand the dodge. I understand the Floyd Mayweather approach. Yeah, he's not gonna do the flipping Mike Tyson knockout. He's doing a Floyd Mayweather defense, dodge for 12 rounds. Yeah, and I kind of get that, while not necessarily agreeing. So that's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm always gonna see the multiple perspectives, guys. Niche fan says Mount is one of our worst ever signings. Too much politics affected sport. Eddie, my guy Eddie. How many times are we told that there's no politics in sport, guys? Whenever I hear that, I'm always like, my gosh, you guys pick and choose. When it's Ukraine war, everyone has to wear some Ukraine stuff and all these things. But when someone takes a knee, oh my God, don't politics in sport, bro. What? Stop killing people. That's all we're saying. Is that politics? Really? Then it's like, oh, wear the LGBTQ badge or armband, but that's not politics. But then like Jim Radcliffe comes in and says what he said about immigration. So it's like, when do we pick and choose when politics can be in sport? Because there seems to be no pattern to this. Is whenever somebody feels like it, they'll bring politics into sport. And then, like I said, FIFA is awarding Trump a peace prize. So whenever anybody says don't bring politics into sport, just ask them, what is politics? What is it? Define politics. Because if politics is everything, if everything is politics, from how much money I can make to how many immigrants can be in a country, to the economics, to GDP, to transport systems, to if everything can be decided by voting by a politician, everything about life, from how many trees there are in your neighborhood to how much oxygen you can breathe, CO2 emissions, to everything in the world, to human rights is now politics, right? Just having the right to live is now apparently politics. So technically speaking, everything is politics, right? So what are we doing here? That's what I'll say, Eddie. Anyway, what's T Kizzle saying? T Kizzles. Carrick has to tread lightly. He will be submitting his CV. Yeah, that's why I said T Kizzles. His CV for the full-time gig. Also, his job is to fall in line, coach, and shut his mouth. Yeah, it's difficult. Sometimes I have my fan hat and I think just like a fan of the club, and I'm like, oh, angry. But sometimes I take the hat off and I'm like, hold a second. Let's think like a human now. If I'm Michael Carrick, I kind of get it. I kind of get it. I feel like sometimes we need to take the fan hat off and put ourselves in the position of other people. It's called empathy, I guess. What's Eddie saying? I'd have said Jim is completely wrong. Moreover, I find his comments utterly disgusting. If he wants to sack me on the back of that, then let's have it. Niche fan has a moral standard, and I like that. I like when people are morally consistent, like the way Niche fan is being morally consistent. He's like, I don't care. I have a way of being. I have a standard of ethics, and that's broken. F off. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down. Pep is untouchable. Carrick is on a professional tryout to be a permanent manager. Yeah, TK. See, TK's talking now. TK's warming up. He's warming up. Can't lie. We need to focus our energy on the person who said it more than others. Eddie's back, baby. Eddie's back, baby. I don't care what Carrick says. Even when we win, Carrick doesn't say enough. Eddie, well, I don't care. Listen, even when we win, Carrick doesn't really say shit. what do? Now I want man to be giving me a thesis. I want man to write me flipping 10 paragraphs and write me an essay on flipping Amram. Even when we win, man's like, yeah, we won, yeah. We play well. Nah, Eddie, that's wild still. I like that. But it's true. It's true. It's true, guys. Kobe Manu. Kobe. My guy Kobe. What's Carrick saying about Kobe? Because Carrick is a midfielder. And I love the fact that Carrick is here because I know Carrick can pass some shit onto this guy. And I know Casemiro can just say, give Kobe your aura, Cass. Pass it on before you leave. That's all I want Cass to do. I want Cass before he leaves to give some of his traits to Kobe. You know, that's why I said, listen, if he stayed for one more year and we got Anderson and we got Baleba and we had like Casemiro, just bring on Casemiro for the last 20 minutes of games. And we had Casemiro just teaching these young G's their positional sense, teach them to look over their shoulder, teach them to follow their man, teaching them just to, I know he comes with experience, but just his know-how, his experience. But this is what Carrick has said on Kobe Manu. He's just said this, guys. I've been really conscious of not giving him an awful lot. A couple of little pointers, a bit of positional things, and I think positionally is probably where Kobe needs the most. He's getting better. He's getting better. But he's basically saying pointers, positional pointers, here or there, when to release the ball, when to sort of like drop back and all these things. And we also know, guys, because Carrick has said that he does the individual stuff more than Amram did. He will take players to the side and say, okay, this is what you need to work on as an individual. And while that sounds simple and it sounds basic, the fact they're making it newsworthy kind of shows that maybe Amram didn't have that personal touch with the players. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Kobe was thinking, what do I need to do? You know, when Carrick was put your arm over your shoulder and said, this is what you're playing and this is what you need to do to play. Maybe Amram wasn't doing that. Maybe Kobe was thinking, why doesn't he start me? What do I need to do to play? And since Kobe has started, since Carrick has come back, he's played almost 90 minutes of every game, Kobe. And he's been so good. What I like about Kobe, guys, his ball retention in small spaces is vital if we want to unlock low blocks. You've seen it. Give the ball to Kobe. He's able, I keep telling you guys, to drop a shoulder, to put his foot on the ball, to do a little, he's got that in his locker. Little tight spaces, little touches. He reminds me, he's basically Donny van der Beek was similar. We didn't see a lot of Donny van der Beek, but in little tight spaces, Donny van der Beek would receive the ball and just pop it back. He always wanted the ball in tight spaces. He didn't care. But the problem with Donny is that he was always injured. And apart from receiving the ball and giving it back, he didn't have too much responsibility on the ball. He just gave the ball back to someone else. He didn't get the ball and own it and drive the team forward or anything like that. But Kobe can do that. So what's our midfield going to look like this summer, guys? Is Bruno going to stay? Because there's talk of the town that he might not stay. Is Bruno going to stay? Are we going to see Baleba and Kobe? Anderson or Kobe? Wharton or Kobe? There is news about Stiller as well. Stiller has resurfaced again as a midfield option. There's also talk about left wing options. So eventually, guys, even though you know me, I'm not a fan of talking about transfers during the season. But eventually, we might have to have a good conversation, guys, about who do we want in the midfield. I know we keep talking about it, but things change all the time. Because at the start of the season, a lot of you said Baleba. Now, Baleba's out of fashion and it's Anderson and Wharton. If Anderson has a purple patch in the next month or two, will he fall out of favour? I don't know. Just a question. Just a question, guys. Big up the chat. Yeah, let's focus on what Carrick is doing with our lads on the pitch versus what political. Yeah, we've spoken about it. Let's focus now on the game. 100 quid says we lose against the Toffees. Niche fan. The players are going to sabotage. I don't think that. Okay, niche fan. I don't think that happens. I feel like you. What's the bigger driver? You as a footballer playing for Manchester United, having pride within your performance, having pride with the team, because you don't see Jim. You never see Jim as a footballer. You don't see your CEO. So yes, your CEO might be chatting some racist shizzle, but you still go to work and you're still with your team. You see your team. You see your manager, and he's not an R word. He's not racismo. Your team isn't racismo. So the guy who's at the very top, who's the most distant away, is the one. So I'm like, I still think professional footballers who get paid to do their job will do their job. Another thing to think about is this: if you work for, I don't know, the biggest company in the world and you're getting paid £1 million, yeah, a year, and you find out your boss, not your manager, but your CEO that you never see, votes for some next party and he hates immigrant, and it's a bit of an R word. Are you gonna give up your £1 million job because he is, or are you gonna be like, cool, you know what? I might be working for one, but I need to eat. I need to live. It's just, I'm just saying, yeah, the conversation is more nuanced. I think it's difficult. That's what I'm saying. It's just difficult, guys. I think it's not an easy, because everything's so intertwined. But big up the chat. Big up the chat. I think we need to start thinking about this team now. But Ben Jacobs, yeah, Carrick was also asked about being manager this season, guys. And this is a question that we're gonna have to keep asking ourselves, because this is serious, guys. This is a question we need to keep assessing and reevaluating. Some of us are gonna wait until the end of the season to make this conclusion. Some of you guys in the chat have already come to your conclusions that you want this guy to stay. Some of you, niche fan, listen, it is what it is. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Some of you guys I've seen enough. Weak, he's spineless, and you want him out. Cool. A decision needs to be made. What if he wins 70% of his games? Are you guys really going to get rid of a manager who's won 70% of his games right here for another manager who we don't know anything about, and it could fail? It's going to be very, very interesting at the end of the season. Right now, a lot of us are not even thinking about it, but I'm telling you guys, come May, this topic is going to get juicy. Because don't forget, Amorim has already come out and he said he's not going to say anything until the season ends. So what's going to be coming out from Ruben Amorim at the end of the season as well? If Carrick qualifies for the Champions League, can you sack him? Once again, a question for the chat. Can you really sack him? Imagine if he manages to do it, get into the top 3, and then you still sack him. I don't know. Either way, guys, he was asked about this. And once again, he says, for me, it's the ultimate role. I'm really enjoying it. I love what I'm doing. I'm fortunate. And full stop. I want you to understand that. That is why. Listen to what he said. It's my ultimate role. I love what I'm doing. I'm fortunate. There's no level of racismo that's going to let him walk away or say anything bad. Listen to him. This is the dream thing for me. This is the pinnacle of his life, managing this club. I don't decide how long that's going to be, but I love being here, and while I'm here, I'll give everything I can. And I always plan for the long-term future for the benefit of the football club. And that was not the press conference, by the way, guys. I want to make it a bit clear. These are quotes from his BBC interview. So just like Amorim, he did his pre-match press conference, and he also did a BBC interview, which I've taken these quotes from, guys. It's going to be a thing. It's a very important decision that Manchester United need to make. It's a very important decision that Ineos need to make. In terms of hiring managers, they've made 2 mistakes. They've kept Ten Hag rather than firing him, and then had to fire him a month into the season. Then they hired another man who was not good enough, who had no right being at the club. So in terms of managerial appointments, Ineos, I've said it all the time, guys. On the channel, I'm gonna try to be unbiased, and I will say Ineos have done some good things in terms of the transfers, but some of the decisions they've made haven't been great with regards to managers and so on. They need to get this right, otherwise Niche Fan and others, they're gonna come at them even harder next season. Ineos, they don't have a long string. They don't have a long string. So this decision at the end of the season is the most important decision. The absolute most important decision. Otherwise, they could be done if they get this wrong. Big up. Brexit was the worst thing that ever happened to us, says Niche Fan. I want Carrick out, says Niche Fan. Strong words, strong opinions by Niche Fan in the chat. TK, if you play Sesko or Zex up top against the low block scum toffees, we'll be just fine. TK, that's a question I have for you, bro. You've seen his team for the 5 games. He hasn't changed it. TK, I am nervous, or should I say I'm conscious that he might not change the team again against a low block, despite talking about Sesko, despite talking about Xerxes' qualities, and essentially explaining that they do well against low blocks. He's spoken with his mouth, but his actions haven't really fully supported what he said about the players, about choosing different players for different occasions against different teams. That is kind of what I want to see more of from Carrick. That is why I said I will make my decision about whether I want him to stay or go at the end of the season when my sample size is just a bit larger. That's all, guys. What do I think of Stiller? I think Stiller's good. From what I've seen of Stiller, he's good. He plays the ball forward. He's got a good passing range. He looks physical. He doesn't look that quick and that tough, but he looks physical enough. I always feel like some of these players in the foreign league, especially in the midfield against the Newcastle, against the physicality of some of the midfielders, I am nervous. But we spoke about Stiller in the summer. I had a good look at him, and I said, you know what? Bring him. Because if we can get Stiller for about 30, 35, 40 M's, and we know the Balebas and Andersons are going to cost 80, then bring him. But the Prem proven thing, guys, the Prem proven thing. I like Prem proven. I like that I've seen Anderson. I've seen these guys in the Prem. I know they can handle it. So if we can get him for half the price as the other players, like 35, yeah, because at the end of the day, we got Dorgu, and Dorgu wasn't Prem proven. But if put it this way, I trust, and I've said it before, I trust Wilcox and Vivell more than I've trusted other people in the past at the football club making decisions. So if Vivell and them guys are saying, listen, Stiller is the guy, I'm gonna be that cool. Vivell, these guys haven't really got it wrong. Lemens, Dorgu is changing people's opinions. Cunha and Bumo, Sesko, these guys have been okay. They've been okay, guys. So I've already said Wilcox, Vivell, if they want Stiller, I'll go for it as well. Yeah, the price is important when it comes to Stiller. It's important for me. But in the summer we were hearing around 40 for him. So like I said, if we can get for 35, why not? Why not? All right, guys, let's move on. Dallo or Ben Jacobs. What are we going to talk about? Dallo or Ben Jacobs? This will make Niche Fan happy. Here we go, Niche Fan. Ben Jacobs. So Ben Jacobs has revealed today that Jim Ratcliffe, Manchester United's co-owner, will avoid any FA charges following his interview where he claimed the UK had been colonized by immigrants. Do you know what it is? It's the fact that he's using the word colonized. I feel like if he said there's issues with immigration or we need to fix all these things, I wouldn't mind. But he's because I understand what colonization is and I know what it's done to the southern hemisphere of the world. I understand the British Empire. I understand that they controlled 3/4 of the world. I understand what it takes to colonize. Like, think of you have to go into another country and make them accept your way of life. It involves a lot of murder. It involves a lot of genocide. If you want to colonize a country, it involves sometimes a lot of genocide, so people can bow to your will. A lot of wars. People just coming over on boats. That's not genocide. That's not. Anyway, we shouldn't go back into it, guys. We shouldn't. We shouldn't. All the FA has done is remind Radcliffe of his responsibilities, but no further action will be taken despite the comments being widely criticised. And guys, we knew this. We spoke about this before. The FA were going to look into it, but we understood that the maximum punishment would only be a not do it again. The bumbucker. Where I do? Not do it again. And that was all that happened. Don't do it again. And then he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it tomorrow and the next day. He'll keep saying these things. Of course he will. You think he's gonna stop? He's a reform voter. He's anti this. He's anti that. He doesn't live in the country. He's very, very right wing. That's his political views, and you don't change your political views overnight because your political views represent your moral and your ethics. He's not gonna just change those views. So slap and we move. Slap on the wrist and we move. And me personally, as a black man, sometimes you got to pick your battles. I don't have time to get mad at this. What's gonna happen? I get mad. I get frustrated about all these things. And then my blood pressure rises. You know, veins pop in my eyes and racism. And sometimes, guys, I'm like, I've said my piece. You're a sorry man. Go suck your mother. I was saying in Jamaica, go suck your mother. Yeah? Go suck out your mother. And then we move. We keep it. We keep moving, guys. So all of them thing there. All of them thing there. Yeah. Eddie, I've got to listen, I'm not gonna lie, Eddie. When it comes to the midfield, I know some of you guys don't want Belebas and all these things. But I feel like I'm in a position, Eddie, where if you give me 2 of any of those 4 or 5, I will be chilled, Eddie. I'm not. I feel like they're quality. Give me Anderson and Baleba. Give me Anderson and Wharton. Give me Wharton and Baleba. Give me Stiller and Anderson. I feel like I'm not going to cry, guys. I don't feel like I'm going to fight anybody. I'm not going to beef nobody if we get 2 of those. That is literally how I feel right now. That's how I feel right now. Yeah. I feel like it will be cheaper than Baleba and Wharton TK. Look how 25 million for Dorgu. Also, don't forget Dorgu. We bought him. Loads of teams were looking at Dorgu. I feel like we kind of disrespected Dorgu when he came in. Like Barcelona wasn't looking at him. Teams were looking at Dorgu, That's why we spent £25 million on him. Because we could have got him for cheaper. Niche fan, very strong. He's not happy with Jim. Niche fan, like I keep saying to you, bro, I actually get it. And I actually like your stance, bro. I like your moral stance. When people are like that, you can't call them fake. You can't call them fake. You can't call Niche fan fake. He's sticking to your principles, to his principles. But it's hard, bro. It's difficult. TK says 5 games where he was almost perfect in picking up points, though. Why change? That is a question, though, TK. That is the conundrum. While the performances I feel have decreased, and while Mbeumo might not, his 90-minute performances in terms of controlling the ball, bringing others into play, haven't been great. Mbeumo's scoring goals, and that's always the question. Why change it? I feel like after the last game when we drew, the last game was a perfect example of you don't need to wait until the wheels fall off before you change it. This is my concern with Carrick. Play your team until the team dies, until the wheel fully falls off, until you lose 10-0, and that's when you change it. And I'm like, do you know what? We could have changed it against West Ham. And even though Mbumo scored in previous games and all these things, you could have said, you know what? Mbumo's playing well. He's playing well. I shouldn't change it because he's playing well. But at the same time, this is a different team, different setup. I'm going to make a change. So I understand both perspectives. I understand if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I also understand, if I'm going to be intelligent, if I'm going to assess this thing, I know it's not broke, but I need to change it. I understand both perspectives. They both follow some sort of logic, is what I'm saying. Dallo, guys, let's quickly, before we finish and before we look at the team, guys, see what Dallo is saying. Dallo's everybody's favorite footballer. Dallo divides opinions. When Dallo first came to the club, I actually thought that he could play further forward because of his lack of defensive ability at the time when he first initially came. He was going forward, whipping in crosses with his right foot. I was like doing step overs and all these things. Then we sent him on loan to AC Milan and he got better defensively. Then he came back. And after he came back, I think he played a season. And then the next season, he won the Player of the Year, right? He was our Player of the Year about 2 seasons after he came back. He was really good. But then after Ten Hag, after Amram, he just playing wing back. Him playing wing back kind of exposed him, I think. He's not a wing back. And I think Amarim's wing back system made him look not good. He's a fullback. And playing right back, playing a fullback, he looks all of a sudden, especially under Carrick, like everyone else, he looks a bit better. He looks a bit better now, just like everyone else who looks a bit better. Wing back for Dallo? No. Not a wing back. Fullback, yes. But then the question for the chat, for the United community is, are you keeping Dallo? Because I know, guys, a lot of you're not feeling Dallo. And I feel like we do need, if we can, go into the fullback market. If we can. Because what is Dorgu? Is Dorgu now a winger? If that's the case, do we need to go back into the fullback market? Dallo's playing ahead of Mazraoui often, but is that a permanent thing? Is Mazraoui going to get a game ahead of Dallo? And if he does, are we going to see a better team? Are we good on the right-hand side, guys, with Mazraoui, Dallo? Are we good on the left-hand side with Luke Shaw? Wait, who's challenging Luke Shaw? Because Dorgu would be. But Dorgu, is Dorgu now I would classify Dorgu now a winger who can play fullback. But then if Dorgu's a winger, aren't we okay there? Because we've got Cunha and Dorgu on the left. So do we need a left winger? Because we're in for Semenyo. All these questions. There's so many little thoughts, guys. So many little thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. But these are just things that's running through my head at the moment. Let's hear what Dallo has to say. One of the things that I want the most is to be a part of that team that puts Man United back on top. Full stop. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think Cunha's, the Mbumos, the reason why they're here and the reason why people will still come to Manchester United is because as a footballer, you have that confidence in yourself. You have to. You can't play football and not be confident in yourself. Every footballer thinks they're the best footballer in the world. I don't know if that's true, but you kind of have to have that thought. And I think a lot of footballers, Cunha and Bumos, they want to be the guys that bring United back to the top. Imagine that, not winning the league for 14 years and then you being part of that team that does it. So I get that. I get that. I fully get that. He says, that's what feeds me. That's what Dallo says. We beat Arsenal. When I got home, I said to my wife, this club is crazy. It's unbelievable. Why? Because you just beat the 2 best teams in the country for the last 2 or 3 years. And you beat them deservedly. Sometimes you can win games, but they were on top of you the whole game. We actually played really well and we controlled the game. And we can compete with anybody if we are like this. If you are like this, Dallo, you, Dallo, need to up your levels and you need to find some form of consistency, some high level consistency. If we can get Dallo, And I know a lot of you guys are not fans of Dallo. But you know me, I run this thing, so I have to try to be impartial if I can. And if we can get the Dallo of 3 years ago that was voted player of the season at right back, crosses for Sesko on his head. Because Dallo, if we're not going to be biased, listen, I don't like Dallo. But, you know, I try not to be biased. Dallo has been okay over the last 3 or 4 games. He's been fine. So, it is what it is. Niche fans make me laugh, sorry. Niche fans make me laugh, bro. Niche fan is like the Joker. Niche fans like, listen, burn the whole thing down now. I'm done. Burn it down. The whole thing. Niche fan, anarchist. All right, I hear you. Big up the chat, man. Let's get the team up, man. Let's get the team up. Let's get the team up, guys. Let's get the predictions in. Let's do this, man. By the way, guys, tomorrow's Saturday. What games are tomorrow? Because we need to start doing watch-alongs for other games. We need to do a watch-along for the North London derby. So Sunday, guys, we are going to sit here and watch Arsenal lose. We're going to sit here together and we're going to watch Arsenal lose and we're going to be happy about it. We're going to be happy about it. We're going to celebrate it. You know, on this channel, we don't do a lot of drinking rival tears. We don't really do that a lot. But we might have to. We might have to celebrate in the demise of our enemies. We might need to dance on our enemies' graves. We might need to, guys, because Arsenal, we did our predictions and we predicted Arsenal to still win the league. But my gosh, guys, the Wolves result. All I'm saying, City look like they're chasing. City, they've got the Semenyo now. They've done their January signings. They've got their flipping Semenyo and they've got Gehi. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Be the ball. Eddie says, what I do hate is Simon Jordan. Eddie, I cannot stand Simon Jordan, bro. This guy. The thing about Simon Jordan, right? Every now and then he will say something that I agree with. And it would annoy me is the fact that I'm on his side of stuff. Every now and again, once every 200 million years, I'm joking. But every now and again, he will say something. I'm like, oh, this guy's a prick. But I agree with him on this one thing, which is good because you're not supposed to. You can't just blankly hate somebody and hate. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. I hate Liverpool. I don't know. But Jordan, we know what Simon Jordan's on. We know what he's about. We know about these guys. The Simon Jordans, the Graham Souness's, those sort of guys we know what they're on. We know how much they hated Pogba and all these things. We hear them speak, and we hear how they hated don't forget the whole beef with the YouTube channels, the whole beef with the AFTV and United Stand and all of the YouTube channels and TalkSport. Simon Jordans and all these guys hated all the YouTubers, and then they bought flipping Don Robbie on TalkSport, ganged up on him. Bro, listen, Simon Jordan, if you ever hear this, just know, Chosen Wisdom, just think you're a piece of shit. And that is all. Let's move on. I'd keep Dallo, but I prefer Mazraoui, says Niche fan. I'd keep Dallo. Okay, some positive Dallo stuff. That's good. And Mazraoui's back as well, Niche fan. I hear you. A truck full of spaghetti is Shaw's only true challenge. Guys, we remember Brandon Williams. Where is Brandon Williams right now? I can't believe some of the players that played for this club. Where's Brandon flipping Williams right now? They tried to gaslight us and thinking this guy was good. No way. Brandon flipping Williams. I don't know who of Mbumo, Cunha or Ahmad needs to get benched, but one must go. Also, I don't mind Xerxes staying. Yeah, Is it all right, guys? This is the question I pose. Is Carrick scared of dropping one of those guys? Do you think he's because Niche fan spoke about Carrick's spine? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Um, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I always say on this channel, I like Xerxes. Aesthetically, I like him as a footballer. He just looks good. But guys, also I will say that I don't think Xerxes will stay. If I was Xerxes, I would leave. Unfortunately. But I like Xerxes, and I listen. I don't mind having two strikers that are just different. One of them that's different to the other. And if Xerxes is happy to play 20% of the games, like Oli, put it this way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as much as we worship him, he's a super sub. Oli was happy. That's why you can't really compare Oli to Carrick. Oli was happy to sit on the bench for 80% of the time and come on for Andy Cole. And then Sheringham came on for Dwight York. That's it. Andy Cole top, Dwight York behind him, Solskjaer top, Sheringham behind him. We had sort of like the same striker but on the bench. Sheringham for Dwight York, Solskjaer for Cole, right? Carrick came after Solskjaer, yes, but Carrick wasn't a super sub. Carrick played every single game, 90 minutes. So they're different. They're different. I don't know about I have to be honest when it comes to Xerxes, guys. I have to be honest. I like Xerxes, but I do not think. But who knows, guys? With playing 40 games a season, because we'll play about 38 games in the Premier League and about 3 or 4 cup games, right? So we might not even hit 50 games this season, guys. Think about it: 38 games in the Premier League season. We've had about 1 or 2 cup games. So are we gonna hit 50 games? Well, next season we're gonna have Premier League and Champions League. Hopefully, go along in the cup games. So Xerxes, if Xerxes stays, he will play more minutes. But then we got Cunha who can play up front. We got clearly Mbumo. So, guys, like I said, I like Zex, but I think Zex might leave in the summer. So yeah, personally, guys, I think Carrick will start this team, the same team. And I'm only basing it on the fact that he's done it. He started this same team 5 games in a row. We've had 2 weeks break, so no one's tired, no one's injured. And based on what I've seen before, and the fact we've had a 2-week break, I don't see a reason, apart from the fact we're playing against a low block. So I would change the striker. But if I'm Carrick, and based on what Carrick's done before, I think he will just start the same team. This is the team who'll start. I would do what Atros has suggested. Drop one of the 3 attackers and bring on Sesko. Let Sesko start for a game. And then imagine bringing on Mbimo or Ahmad 60 minutes, 65 minutes. Yeah? Because the way you can think about it is this. Start the game with controller. Start the game with a striker who can hold the ball up and do whatever. A Sesko or Xerxes. And end the game 60 minutes with an Mbumo. Because in around 60 minutes, if we're winning 1-0, for instance, Everton will have to come out of their low block. Perfect for Mbumo. He likes to play on the shoulder. He likes the balls over the top. He likes to run through. He does not really like to play with his back to goal. That's not Mbumo. We understand that as a channel, right? We've seen that with our eyes. We know what Mbumo's about. So, start the game with control, Xerxes, Sesko, pass the ball, whatever, and then 60 minutes, bring on Mbumo, boom, counter-attack. And Mbumo will probably score. So, it depends how Carrick wants to manage the game. It depends how he sees the game, but that's what I would do. Get your predictions in, guys. Get your predictions in, people. I'm excited. Like I said, we're going to do a watch-along for the Tottenham game and Arsenal. If there's another game on Saturday that's interesting, we'll do a watch-along for that one as well, guys. Get your predictions in. Oh no. What's my prediction? Everton at home. Mm. Let's see the Everton. Let's see the Everton team quickly, guys. Let's just look at Everton. Well, Everton's last game. Who was it? Um, Fixtures. Yeah. Mm. Mm. No, I do line up. Let's see. Let's get a feel. Dewsbury Hall. I forgot. Okay, guys, we can't. If we can't beat this team, bruv, we got to like. Okay, on paper, and we know football ain't played on paper because we were beaten by them only a few months ago. Yeah, and they had 10 men. But I'm hoping different team, Carrick at the helm. We're playing better football, better attacking football, and most importantly, guys, we're the away team, and we know United less of the ball, playing away from home, being the counter attacking team will mean that we're probably going to win because those are the formula, right? Those are the characteristics. We need less of the ball to win the games. We need to be in our deep block a lot of the times to win games. I mean, one or two of the goals we scored against Arsenal, we actually picked the ball off them while pressing. I feel like I'm gonna say 2-1, guys. I'm gonna say, all right. See, TK's with me. I'm gonna go and say that Manchester United will beat Everton 2-1. It's gonna be a difficult game. I don't think it's gonna be a good game. It's going to be similar to the West Ham game where it might just be a lot very ugly. Everton are going to want it to be physical. They're going to want it to be ugly. And I feel like they're going to get it. They're going to get an ugly game. And one thing that we have that maybe other teams don't have, we have the Cunhas. We have Mbumos who can slap the ball into the bottom corner from 25 yards. We have that. Sesko's goal that he scored, top bins the other day, that equaliser. And we have players who can do that. And I feel like it's going to be something like that. It's going to be like 1-0 and then a Cunha 2-1. Turkish says United will win 3-1. TK says Leacher and Casemiro will both obtain a yellow. Yeah, it looks like one of those games, isn't it? It's going to be very physical, guys. Very physical game. TK says he thinks Zerk stays because of European football and more game. I mean, I try to argue that, TK, that with more games there will be more opportunities. But at the same time, because I've seen him start in Bumo, and then Bumo starts ahead of Sesko, so I can already see the packet is Bumo, Sesko, and then Xerxes. So I'm like, maybe next season it's going to be Sesko and Bumo, and then Xerxes in that order. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But yeah, there you have it, guys. I say 2-1. TK says 2-1. Let me know your other predictions. Put them in the chat. This game is on Monday evening, guys. So we will be back here on Monday evening, but we will definitely be back here on Sunday afternoon. So if you guys are watching Tottenham against Arsenal, please tune in. Of course, the Discord is there. I've jumped in the Discord every now and again to have a chat with TK, Atro, and some others in the chat. So big up all the guys in the Discord. Keep growing the channel, guys. We're doing some good stuff here. And we keep progressing. I know we're on about 614. We've been on 614 subscribers for a while, which is fine. If we stay on 614, it will be fine because the community is good and I like this community. So big up the chat, big up everybody, Atro, Niche Fan, and everyone who jumps in after to watch it after the fact. Big up yourselves. Leave your comments. Come back to the video as well, guys, if you can, and leave a comment on the video so YouTube can push it. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing more little shorts as well to see what else we can do. I might also speak to one of you guys as well to see if one of you guys want to do a show with me. I feel like it might be good. For instance, I know Acho. I think TK probably wants to be more in the background and manage stuff and be the boss. I feel like TK's got this boss energy. So I feel like TK is like the boss of this channel. But I feel like Acho is very opinionated. I feel like Acho might jump on camera and do split screen with me and chop it up. So yeah, I feel like we need to start chopping up with the community and having shows with the community. If you guys are on that, let me know. Of course, the Discord is there. Eddie as well. If you're on that, let me know. Discord is there. Message me, and let's do it, man. Let's keep building. Big up everybody. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your Friday evening. Yeah, and we will be back. MVP is Niche. Niche is the MVP today. Niche came with that passion and that fire that I love. Like I said, listen, even Shivam, when Shivam jumps in the chat and Shivam does his thing, I 90% disagree with Shivam, but I like Shivam's passion. I like Shivam's passion. But I don't disagree with Niche Fan, by the way, guys. I agree with Niche Fan. All right, guys. Big up yourselves. We'll be back on Monday. Let's slap these toffees, guys. Monday. Oh, yeah, we're back on Sunday. Sorry, Sunday for Arsenal against Tottenham. We will be back on Sunday. Make sure you are tuned in, locked in. Big up yourselves, and I'll